Hello and welcome to NetPoints. Today we are going to see a very important clustering algorithm in artificial intelligence, which is the k-means clustering algorithm. So here we are going to divide the population into clusters or groups. So the number of groups is denoted by the letter k. So that is why the name k-means clustering algorithm. And so you're going to form k clusters out of a given population. Now the population is based on two variables. Like in a graph, we can draw a graph based on two variables, that is x and y. We can scale either along the x-axis or the y-axis, and we can plot the points and we can find the curve whatsoever. So this k-means clustering algorithm is an important unsupervised learning method. So we already know Naive-Bayes theorem, which is a supervised learning technique where you are provided the input, the learning algorithm and a model, and based on the training data and it produces the requisite output. Whereas in unsupervised, we are only provided with the input, that is your population, and so this k-means clustering algorithm is a very important unsupervised learning algorithm, and let us see how this functions. Now we have a population here. The population is based on two variables, one along the x-axis and another along the y-axis. We are going to plot some points, and that is known as the population. Say for example, okay, so what I have plotted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 points here. Now, the selection of the number for k is based on some random selection or even sampling. So, for example, if I take the value of k to be 3, according to k-means clustering algorithm, I am going to form clusters, that is three groups, three clusters over the given population, because the value of k is 3. So let me say now if the value of k is 5, then it means that I'm going to form 5 clusters out of the given population. Now how to form these clusters? So for f, imagine that the value of k is going to be 5 now. So I'm going to form 5 clusters out of this population. The first step involved in this algorithm is to select seeds. So seeds are any random input that can be selected out of the population. Now I'm going to select seeds here. Say for example, this is a seed here. Here I'm selecting a seed. So these seeds are selected in random. Okay. Now after selection of seeds, I have to consider the rest of the population and find out which are all lying in proximity to these seeds. Proximity means nearer to these seeds. So when I consider this seed, I can see that all these input or all these population here over here are lying in close proximity to this seed, and over here these are all lying in close proximity to this seed, and these are all lying in close proximity to this seed. Now it is very easy for us here because we see that there is no disparity or there is no disagreement. Now for example, if I have a input here in the population, now where will you group this particular input? In this cluster or this cluster or this cluster? So for that, in order to find out whether this particular input point lies in this cluster or this cluster, what we have to do is we have to find out the center point or the perpendicular bisector, and then find out whether that point lies to the left of the bisector or to the right of the bisector. If that point lies to the left of the bisector, then it falls in this cluster. When it falls to the right of the bisector, it falls in this cluster. So the next step after finding out the seeds, the next step is to form bisectors. So here I am going to draw straight lines connecting all the seeds. First draw straight lines connecting all the seeds and then draw perpendicular bisectors for each of the straight line. So what is a perpendicular bisector for this is this. And what is a perpendicular bisector for this is this. What is a perpendicular bisector for this is this. Okay, so these are the lines which indicate the perpendicular bisector. Now if there has been a point here and the point, if it lies, so here previously there was a point here, now you see that the point lies to the left of the line. So this point or input belongs to this particular cluster. So we have formed 3 clusters. If we take k is equal to 3. If we take k is equal to 3, we have to choose 3 seeds and form 3 clusters. So now the point is now whether the clusters that we have formed is optimal or not. How to find out whether it is an optimal way of forming clusters or not. So this is only the first step in the iteration. The second step in the iteration, what it does is, in order to form the next group of clusters, what it does is, it finds the center point or the centroid of each of these clusters. Okay, so in this cluster, which is the centroid, and find a seed from there. And here it will find the centroid of this cluster and choose a seed from there. And again it will choose the centroid of this cluster and choose a seed from there. And these 3 seeds are going to be used again in the next iteration, where again you are going to form clusters. Okay, so in this way, clusters, this is a k-means clustering algorithm where you are going repeatedly over iteratively, you are keeping on forming clusters based on the value of k.